Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan checking back in with chart gal Lori again regarding the swing report. How are you, Lori?
I'm doing great. Good to
Glad
see
to
you.
have you. Yeah. So this week has been marked by stimulus headlines, and all the traders that I'm interact with are getting really sick of them. A lot of back and forth, choppy action, and a lot of people might think, this is a trading environment that I can't deal with. And I'm curious to know how your swing report and the picks in it are reflected. Are you making adjustments with all this headline, or how is it going?
I can say that we tightened up stops this past week and we made a large note to all of the subscribers letting them know we were tightening up stops. So next week when we see some stop outs, don't think that something went wrong. We did that on purpose. We've had massive gains with this V-shaped recovery since COVID. So we want to make sure we protect those gains and tighten things up as we enter a volatile market. And also we are recommending position sizing down. So if your normal position, let's just say, is $10,000, we're saying go about a third, $3,300, $3,000 in that range, just to kind of dial back the risk, if you will.
Absolutely. So, leading up into the election, we got 2 weeks to go. We got a debate tonight, the last debate, and we've been looking at different sectors that are going to be in play. We've seen a lot of solar volatility this week. And what was the most recent sector that you covered in the swing report, and why?
We have covered the solar energy section this past weekend, and the weekend before we did healthcare. Let me show you.
Sure.
Okay. So we did healthcare, looking at healthcare XLV. We have a larger shape on a larger time frame. This has that cup and handle look. And also you could probably make an argument for some type of inverse head and shoulders action here. Excuse me, my marker, let me fix it. Inverse head and shoulders type action here. But overall, it just gives the view of something more bullish going on. Even though we've lost that daily trend, when you look at it on the weekly, it still has a good look. So to me, that tells me they're pricing in a Democratic win by Biden. And we reflected that in the swing report and in our selection. So we chose ALGN. Let me move this. ALGN was one of our names back here. We picked it in this area, anticipating that run into the election with Biden being favored. And this gave us unbelievable gains in just 2 weeks. So that's kind of how we're working the elections angle and trying to make our picks around those angles. So that is a recent example of what we went over, how we staged it, what we chose, and our subscribers benefited.
Awesome. So yeah, there are definitely many sectors that I'm noticing Biden being priced in as well. Most notably for me has been the private prison sector, which is just collapsing. So, we're seeing a lot of the polls saying different things and people not trusting polls. But as far as following the money is concerned, it is clear that the market, to me, is pricing in Biden. So that tells us that if we were to see a Trump win, we know that that would likely be the more volatile scenario just because the market has been pricing in essentially the
Right.
wrong information.
Exactly. And with healthcare and Biden, one particular angle that I'm interested in my prior life, I was in healthcare management. And we used to say when Obama was president, it was awesome for the healthcare sector because the more bureaucracy that you insert into any sector, the more money flows into those sectors, the more need for more sophisticated systems and management. And if there's any revamping of ACA with Biden or any of those insertions of money or bureaucracy, that'll be good for healthcare. And again, showing that overall larger time frame, and we'll work that into the swing report and be on watch for it.
Well, I just learned something. That's an interesting take. Bureaucracy increases money flow. Very cool.
Absolutely. More hoops that you give, people need to know how to jump those hoops.
All right. So let's get a little bit more specific as far as, what you're doing to calculate your stops or your entry zones or your targets calculated for any specific pick.
Well, my birthday's Halloween and I'm a witch, so I just kind of get out my. No, I'm kidding. We do Fibonacci's. So looking at FND. So FND, Floor and Decor, that was one of our names back in here. It has been a huge winner. And so we use Fibonacci's to project the target. The target was 86.26 and we hit 86.37. So we came within 11 cents of that target. How do we calculate, or even how do we place the Fibonacci? Let me get this back. You take the swing high to the swing low, the most exaggerated of the moves, and then you draw from the swing high to the swing low, and then you get that extension, that 1.618. So fibs are used a lot. As we know, fibs occur more often in nature. So I don't know if you know, it's a fun fact for Dan, is that your navel, the majority of humans, their navel is at the 0.618, about 62% up your body. So they just occur a lot in nature. So it's nothing crazy with Fibonacci. I know when people and traders first hear it, they're like, what is this? I don't need this. It helps you set targets, set stops. This is probably not the best example, but if we were going to look for another re-entry in FND, 73.03, so $73 may be a potential entry area for FND on this pullback. So that's kind of how we set the targets. Potential entry targets, and stops, we use pure price action. So we're really looking at the last high or low in most of these cases because we're going long. So it's pure price action for stops.
So one thing for me, when I look at Fibonacci extensions, like you said, found in nature, absolutely. And it's also a self-fulfilling prophecy to a certain degree, where the more traders that are watching those levels, especially when you're in a breakout, right, you know, if there's nothing else nearby to be going off of, Fibonacci's is really what you're looking at as far as extensions. So the more people that are going to react to that level and sell or go short, then the more it's going to act as a big wall of resistance.
Right. And with the swing report, we use the 8 and 21 EMA. Those are Fibonacci numbers in the Fibonacci math sequence. So they occur more often. And we want those quicker signals with the swing report. So we don't use the longer 12 and 26 EMAs. We want quicker signals, and we want to see those slopes of the EMA. So Fibonacci is incorporated into the framework of what in the swing report with a lot of the things that we do.
Awesome. Thanks for the breakdown. Last question. How is the swing report different from other services out there?
We are constantly curating the most coveted toys for Christmas. So I know it's a crazy analogy. We got to finish with a Lori analogy. So when I was younger, I loved a Black Friday shop, and I literally saw a woman get punched over a Furby. They were fighting over the Furby. Oh, God. And now they probably can't give away that Furby that the poor person ended up, well, not poor person, they ended up going to jail for it. But we're in a constant state of Christmas in July here. So we're looking in July, what toys do the kids want for Christmas? That's how we curate the swing report. What names are we anticipating demand by the buyers in the future? They may not want it now, but what do they want possibly in the future? So we're anticipating demand. So we're looking for the Furbies in July. So that, I think that makes us different. And we're also teaching technical analysis on the ride. We're not just saying, here you go buy this ticker. We're stating why. We're going over videos. We're going to have narratives explaining the technical reasons why.
Absolutely. And also appreciate your availability for Q&A. I know in our Chart Guys chat room, you're always there to answer anybody's questions regarding the swing report. So that's certainly helpful as well.
No problem. I enjoy it. As you know, I love what I do.
All right, Lori, thank you very much for checking in. I'll certainly see you next weekend. We are going to be checking in frequently as we head up into the election, and then we will shift our game plan once the election gives us some results to react to. Have a good rest of your day, and thanks again.
All right. Bye.
Introducing the Chart Guys Swing Report, a weekly digital publication that uses technical analysis to identify long-term market opportunities. Understand the market from a swing trade perspective. Follow institutional money as it rotates from sector to sector, and make the most of the Swing Report's weekly trade opportunities, with key entry and exit levels provided. Performance is tracked and updated weekly. For more information, visit us at chartguys.com. Now, let's check out some charts.